Now, last time I went missing, if I remember correctly, you came looking for me. What are you doing?
So, if I remember correctly, the Vulcans have their hearts where humans have their livers.
Because, you know, if I remember correctly, 2 months ago when you didn't have anything, where did you go? Oh, right, you came here.
But if I remember correctly, there's actually one other parent here going through the same thing.
That's how the story goes, if I remember correctly.
But if I remember correctly...
Well, if I remember correctly, he financed the entire defense team of the California War.
If I remember correctly, his name was James William Stone.
If I remember correctly,
As a matter of fact, if I remember correctly, you wanted to plant flowers on our little hot dog grave.
And if you're talking about sex, we were in bed together and quite naked, if I remember correctly.
Oh, and that's not all we did down by the cow pond, if I remember correctly.
Down there, if I remember correctly from our brief encounter.
And if I remember correctly, you were the winner at the end of the night.
If I remember correctly, I was the one who said don't go in there.
If I remember correctly, at your trial, didn't Sophie Green say that you tried to fake her death by setting her car on fire?
If I remember correctly, and I do, there's a tent in the shed out back.
Before Yale, if I remember correctly, St. Paul's.
If I remember correctly, you didn't like the sporting goods job. Or the oil rig job.
The year 2029, if I remember correctly.
If I remember correctly, Miss McGraw had leukemia.
And if I remember correctly, that airline is now out of business, so thank you very much.
If I remember correctly, Mommy and our little Indian wanted to sneak off.
Hey, Atticus, you actually played an alcoholic baseball coach in Bases Loaded, if I remember correctly.
If I remember correctly, I believe